What's up, everybody? It's your favorite clonish prototype, favorite nerd. Today we are looking at Star Wars Black Series, Jango Fett, Han Solo from Force Awakens, and Flametrooper from Force Awakens. First up is the Flametrooper. This guy actually is fairly riddled with problems. We'll talk about it. So the head is on a ball hinge. Yeah, but the hinge is really tight, but it works well. Articulation, good up, good down, side to side is fine. The paint is all pretty good. You can see the line work there. Got outside of the line. I hope you can see that. And a little bit there on the back is outside of the lines too. Who's painting this thing?
Wait, how's this?
And then we got accessories. We have this backpack, which is fairly nice. Black is painted on there. It's got these extra bits glued in. All this extra piece is glued in down here to the bottom. It's a soft plastic, and then all the black and red is painted on. We got some red carried away. It's a reoccurring theme with this guy. And then it comes to this hose, which holds this weapon. But the problem is articulation-wise, he has a hard time holding the weapon in a way that looks cool. So he kind of just looks like a jerk holding this weapon. The weapon itself is fairly nice. Soft plastic, so it's you see it's not the straightest unit. I think it's a black plastic, yes, and then the white is painted on, and that looks the white is all done really well, and all the little bolts painted there. That's top-notch stuff too. I like that. For the figure, he looks a little. I don't know if this is accurate. I try to look at my Art of Force Awakens book or whatever. He looks a little dumpy, sculpt wise. Is it just me? I don't know. I mean, I know it has this general design, but I don't know. So, ball joint torso doesn't get you much because of this sculpt here. So not much down, not much up, but it gets you the swivel, pretty much is what it comes down to. Black paint is done pretty well there. And in there, it's pretty clean too, I must say. We have ball hinge shoulders. They actually go out pretty far given the sculpt, so that's nice. And then they come down, the swivel's intact. Bicep swivel is just above the elbow, so not really there, but it works fine, except you need a little bit more range of motion with this guy. If the arms had more motion, you'd be able to put him in cooler poses holding that firearm. But it's just difficult. So another reason why is because of the wrist articulation. Now you do have an up and down here, which is nice, and then the swivel, and then on this side, is this up and down also? Yes, and that helps. But because of the armor sculpt, it doesn't help enough to really get you that good pose that you want, because you can't, like, you can almost see, like, you can't get this arm up where it needs to be in order to kind of make it work well. The belt is a floating piece, and it's really tight tolerance, so that's pretty good. The black is painted on and looks fairly well. T-jointed ball joints for hips, they get you out to there. The thigh swivel is built into this bottom piece, really tight. Double jointed knees, that's fine. All the black painted on the white plastic looks good. And then the ankle tilt, and good bit up. And the rocker's built in, and that all works fine. The cut in the boot armor allows for the rocker to go to an extreme angle, which is nice. It's well done, thoroughly smart, and thoroughly thought out. It's just the arms that pose a problem, which has been a general theme for these First Order troopers that Hasbro's been putting out. Another paint issue there. Next up is Force Awakens Han Solo, and the head sculpt is great. It's beautiful. I mean, the right. It's one of those things, again, like the right customizer painting this head, and it's going to look really good. As is, the hair, they're all over the place with the color. You see some hair is still got the flesh tone. Other, like right there, still has the flesh tone. But it does have a layer of... it actually looks like it was dry brushed with a gray on top of the brown, which is nice. It's a nice touch. It's subtle, but it does give it that aging effect. I wish they would have painted all the hair. That would have been nice. It's on a ball hinge, good down, good up, side to side is fine. A little bit of head tilt, that all works well. Leather jacket's a floating piece. There is something about the sculpt that makes it like a little balloon shaped in here. which is not the best, but it's not the worst either. The jacket itself is dry brushed with this like this lighter brown, like reddish brown color, which looks really good, and then the silver up there is painted, and that's all done well. The dry brushing all down the sleeves and stuff looks great, and on the back of the jacket, like it gives it that aged leathery look, which is nice. That's a really nice touch, and I like that kind of stuff. No paint on the tunic underneath, but it is sculpted well, and it has a ball joint diaphragm, which does break up the sculpt to make him look like he's wearing like some sort of pirate's blouse or something, but the sculpt does continue to a pretty high degree, so you get a good range of motion on it without destroying the sculpt, which is good. And then you get the waist swivel too, which is nice. Disc hinge shoulders, they work fine. It's a really good range of motion there, and because of the thought process, I mean, so like, okay, so it's a jacket, so you shouldn't see that in there. So that's a bummer, but I think it's one of those, what are you going to do? They maybe could have made it tighter, but you might have lost some articulation, so I don't know what the right choice is there, to be honest. Bicep swivels right above the elbow per usual. Hinge, which can go double jointed, not properly double jointed, but just weird double jointed, and then all the way up to there. I actually have that joint a little bit in real life. IRL, bro. And then the tunic is painted underneath, and that's done fairly fine. Wrist swivel and hinge in and out, which is good. 2 holding hands, 1 weapon. You know, I think that's dumb. The weapon itself, they painted not only the grip, but they painted that little bolt on the grip. That's a nice touch. And then it looks like the gunmetal was dry brushed as well, which is nice, and that also fits in his holster. It's a softer plastic, so it's a little bit difficult to get in, actually, but it does. Oh, I got the scope there. There you go. I had the scope in. That's all my problem. And then the belt itself is washed, and then the silver is painted and looks good as well. The belt underneath is painted, but it's very fuzzy, and I'm not sure if that's a mold issue or a paint issue, to be honest with you. But the tunic, where the tunic meets the belt, and where the belt meets the pants, and where the belt meets the buckle, it's a little fuzzy paintwork in there. T-jointed ball joints for hips get you out to there, which works fine. Thigh swivels intact, up to there, back to there, so that's all good. Double jointed knee, which is actually a pretty good sculpt. And then the boots. Okay, so the boot line is here, but the dry brushing continues onto the pant there. So part of his pants are dry brushed with this old leathery feel, which is dumb. And then the same for the ankles and the feet. They look good in terms of the dry brushing. And then the paint on this belt is done around, and the buckle is painted, which is nice and fairly unpredictable. And you know, I wouldn't have expected. Ankle tilt, decent bit up for the sculpt and back. A lot of times with pant, or like this isn't a pant sculpt, it's a boot sculpt, but because of the wrinkles, it's like a pant sculpt. You usually don't get up that high, which is nice. And then the ankle rocker is built in, which is cool. And lastly is Jango Fett, and he's the best of the bunch. The helmet is removable, so it's an accessory. The paint on there is all done well. The silver has a black wash on it. The blue is painted fairly clean with a few exceptions, and the black is painted clean on top. All the antenna work is all done well too, and it's a softer plastic, so it's not going to break on you. The head sculpt here is fine. The paint is a little wonky. He's got one eye kind of drifting inwards. You know those guys. And then one regular, like if you got like the cross-eyed guy you're sitting next to. Those type of folks. I think I did a skittle net once before, which is one of my favorites. Hairline's painted well, but no wash or ink on it, but it looks okay. The likeness is pretty good. And the helmet does fit on fairly well. It's on a ball-hinged joint there. The skin tone is painted onto the plastic, and for what it is, it looks pretty good. Articulation for the head is fine, including the down. And then it does look a little weird, the back of the head there, but you know, what are you going to do? There is still this thing called physics we have to work around. You can put the helmet on, you can just get that same downward motion, you can get the upward motion, which is pretty cool, and then you can get the side to side. So all that is done really well. The body piece, you have this great plastic, all the wrinkles and stuff are all sculpted in. The metal is sculpted and then painted and then washed, and then it has a ball joint diaphragm joint, which doesn't have the best range of motion, but it's not the worst either, and it gets you the swivel. It also has this accessory on the back, which is this jetpack. It's all painted clean as a whistle with these light blues, dark blues, and silvers, and it looks, it's a thing to behold. It's beautiful. and then you can plug that into 3 places there, so it's nice and secure, not going anywhere. Nice thought. A lot of accessories like this from a Hasbro product just give you the peg, and then it swivels around on you all the time. These 2 notches up there, lock it in, and you're good to go. Awfully smart. Ball hinge shoulders, look how the armor tucks underneath. That's well thought out. And then that armor, as per usual, is sculpted, painted, and washed. That's nice. You get the disc hinge there, which gets you up to there, and then the swivel, which gets you all the way around, no problem. This actually has a bicep swivel, which is unexpected. And then you have the elbow. You have these soft wires here that are connected to the suit above the elbow, so not only does it hide the joint, but it's pliable enough where it stretches to get you the articulation. That is the stuff that they do with the Black Series that I'm absolutely in love with. So good. So good. They put it above there and gave you the cut at the bicep swivel so you wouldn't put extra strain on the wires when you go to get that movement. Awfully smart. The suit here is all sculpted and then painted and then dry. It's not painted, it's dry brushed with this lighter gray blue, which looks good. The gauntlets here, painted silver, washed black, and then the black and gold are painted on top, and that looks fine. Not perfect, but fine. And then you get an in-out motion here on the wrist, and then a swivel, and that all looks good. Good stuff. Same for the other side, and he's holding one of 2 guns that he comes with, which are his like signature pistols, and they're well sculpted with those holes in there and there. That's not a hole, that's actually a breaking skull, but you know what I'm saying? It looks good. And then the silver, it looks like the silver and the... Yeah, I think it's all painted. Those fit in his holsters down here, which we'll talk about when we get there. And then he also holds them well with the trigger finger hand going in there like that, holding the trigger. Nicely done. So we got the belt, which is a soft floating piece, which is nice, and all of it is like this light brown plastic, and then they painted the dark brown at the base of it, which is unexpected and nice. The soft plastic bits come down here and then wrap around here to form the holsters, and they all don't hinder articulation on the T-jointed ball joints, which get you out to here, or the thigh swivel, which is built in, that gets you that full motion around there. The metal here is all sculpted, painted, and then washed with the black, which is nice, and then the suit remains to be dry brushed all the way down with that lighter blue-gray, so that all works well. Double jointed knees, they work well. Ugly, but they work. And then the silver on the knee, once again, painted and washed. You have to wash these straps, just get them around the joint in order to get it back, and you're fine. Same for down here, all the stuff, the suit and the metal as we've come to expect, and then ankle tilt a little bit up, not the best, and then all the way back, and then the rockers built in, and even the metal on the boot is sculpted, painted, and washed. Knockout figure at its price point, no doubt about it. All in all, final thoughts, I have to say that they're definitely recommended by me. The paint is great on Jango. It's okay to subpar on the Flametrooper, and it's good on Han Solo as well. The articulation on all 3 is pretty much top shelf, with the exception of the Flametrooper's arms, which leave a little bit to be desired, especially given the accessories that he has. The sculpts are all top shelf, all 3 of them, no problems there. The accessories are all pretty well thought out, once again, with the exception of the Flametrooper, but that has more to do with an articulation issue than it has to do with an accessory issue. I think Jango Fett's probably going to be the difficult one to get. You see they even had the sculpted dent in his helmet, good stuff. So I definitely track him down first and prioritize him. The other 2 are probably going to be easier to find, but Jango Fett is a fantastic figure, especially at his price point. This Star Wars Black Series line continues to dry brush, continues to wash, continues to sculpt and add unique accessories, molds, and pieces to everything they put out. I commend them. This is what a $20 figure should look like. You know, I don't cut Hasbro a whole lot of slack, but this line they're doing a really, really, really good job with. There's a lot of pride going into this. This is a competing line for even the higher end figures. I definitely prefer the Figuarts over this stuff, but this stuff is nothing to laugh at. I want to make sure that I shout out Pinkerton. You can follow him on Instagram, PNKR10, I believe. And he has a show with a couple other good guys called Realm of Collectors. It's a good podcast about kind of pop culture and toys and stuff, and you can find them on iTunes and that sort of thing. I love giving plugs to people that work on projects within the community, and this is one of the situations where he happened to track down these figures for me, let me have first stab at them, and it's definitely appreciated by me. A lot of those guys over there have proved themselves to be really good dudes, in my opinion, and I applaud what they're doing, and I definitely applaud their sense of community. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.